Hello there, and welcome to the Everything Gaming Store. What seems to be bringing you in today? Are you looking for a console, maybe a game or two, or are you just browsing today? Oh, you're shopping for a family member? Okay, very good. And do you know much about shopping for games and consoles, or are you new to this? You're fairly new? Okay, so you don't really have a good idea of what they would want? No? Alright, that's okay. I can run you through all the systems that we have here. And I'll show you some of the best games and some of my personal favorite games in each game system. This might take a little bit, but if you have plenty of time, I'm sure we can find something either old that was a classic or new and very fun to play nowadays. Is that okay with you? Alright, so I'll be showing you things like the Xbox One, PS4, the PS3 and PS2, of course, and I'll be showing you different accessories and different things that you can buy to enhance the gaming experience, as well as games for each, like I said. So, what should we start with? Do you want to go in a timeline such as the oldest system to come out, or the newest, rather? Okay, we'll just do it in order then. So since the PS1 is temporarily out of stock, the very first thing that I can think of is to show you the PS2, which really revolutionized gaming as a whole. So this is what the PS2 looks like. As you can see, it says PlayStation 2 right on it. And this was one of the greatest selling consoles of all time. It's also one of the most fun consoles to play of all time. This is the only one we currently have in stock. But what you need to know about this one is, although it was one of the best consoles, it's also one of the oldest at this point. So if whoever you're buying for is looking for a more modern gameplay experience, this is not for them. And one of the reasons being, this console still uses external memory cards, only 8 megabytes, to give you a good idea of how old that is. We are into consoles that use terabytes of space, which is many, many times more than this little card holds. And this is what the paddle looks like for the PS2. As you can see, it's not a wireless paddle. It's got a very long cord though, so it doesn't really cause much of a problem. This is one of the first consoles to introduce the DualShock paddles, meaning this style of analog and directional buttons. It's a very good paddle, it's a very good console, and it's got very good games, and I will show you a couple of those games now. So these are some of the favorite games, in my opinion, and some of the most popular in the world's opinion. This was my most favorite game ever on the PS2. Final Fantasy 12. If you know about the Final Fantasy series, it's just a classic Final Fantasy game. Or maybe you like racing games where you are smashing a lot of stuff while racing, well, Burnout Dominator would be the game for you. Or if you like RPGs, and maybe you like Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings: The Third Age is probably my favorite game that a Lord of the Rings title ever put out. So, next I'll show you the PS3. 1 second, please. Alright, so as you can see, the lettering on the PS3 is very similar. Still Sony console, just the newer model. And this is a PS3 Slim. Now the difference between a classic PS3 and a slim PS3 is obviously it's slimmer. It's about half the size of the classics, if not more. Again, another great console. I won't show you any consoles that aren't great today. But you've got a couple USB ports here for charging your paddles, and maybe external memory stick that you want to watch videos off of, or pictures that you took. And this is really one of the first consoles to start getting very competitive on online gameplay, meaning you can connect with other people's worldwide and play with all these people in a competitive manner. And this is one of the first consoles to do that, like I said. So the buttons are not touch sensitive, they're actually clickable. And of course, this is where the disc goes. I'm obviously just assuming you know not that much about these systems, like you said, showing you everything about them. But yeah, I'll show you the paddles and what games you can get with it. Well, here's a few of the games that you can get with the PS3. Dark Souls. Dark Souls is one of the best game series ever, in my opinion. I own all the new ones, and this is the one that started it all. Very, very difficult game. If the person you're buying for is younger, don't buy this game for them because it's a little creepy and it's very, very difficult. Now, Call of Duty. One of the top selling games of all time. Not this one in particular, but all of them as a series. You really can't go wrong with Call of Duty when you're buying for a family member. It's a pretty classic game to buy. And probably, not even probably, the best game of all time in my opinion. Skyrim. The Elder Scrolls Skyrim. That's also what the store is decorated in today, because we're actually doing a sale right now on Skyrim. But Skyrim is a game that really anyone can love, and I highly recommend if you get a PS3, Skyrim is the way to go. Now, this is what the PS3 paddles look like. As you can see, it's pretty much the exact same as the PS2 paddle. There's only a few differences. It's way lighter. And the biggest difference would be it's wireless, so it connects through Bluetooth. And that makes it very convenient for playing games without having cords messing around your feet and stuff. And of course, this is where you charge the paddle to give it power when you're not using it. Okay, so the next console I will show you, would you like to stay on Sony and go to the PS4, or would you like to see our stock of Xbox Ones right now? I'll change gears and I'll go to the Xbox Ones for right now. I currently have 3 Xbox Ones in stock and 1 Xbox One S in stock, and I will tell you exactly what that means. Now, what I have here is a regular Xbox One. As you can see, it is massive compared to the other consoles, and very heavy, very heavy. So these currently come in 500 gigabytes and 1 terabyte of space. So you can see that we made a huge jump in how big games are in the recent past. So I have these 2 Xbox Ones, one which is a 500 gigabyte and the other which is a 1 terabyte Xbox One. The 1 terabyte is going to cost you $50 more, but the extra space is very appreciated once you start downloading a bunch of games. Some of these games can get up to 80 gigabytes nowadays. So, yep. There's 2 options for you. Right over here is where you charge your paddle. Of course, that slit in the front is where you slide the game in. And then Xbox offers a number of options for back ports. I don't know why I'm holding 2 at once right now. It's kind of scaring me. But yeah, if you buy an Xbox One, I'll go over all those options with you. Now, I have a special edition Xbox One, if you're interested in that. This is the special edition I was talking about. Now, what's special about it? Well, this is a limited edition cover for the Xbox. This is a Forza 3 special edition 1 terabyte Xbox. Pretty much what it's for is collectors. If you really, really like a game like Forza 3, a lot of times they will come out with special editions of that console because they know people will buy them. And it also comes with a special edition paddle, which I'll show you right now. So this is a Forza Horizon special edition Xbox One paddle. It's a very great paddle. It feels very nice, and also on top of it being a different color that's special, the backs are soft grip. Normally it's hard plastic like a normal paddle, which I'll show you right now. This is a normal paddle, and as you can tell, or maybe you can't, hard plastic as the handles versus a nice soft rubber as the paddles. But both paddles play the same pretty much. It's just a preference thing. And I have a 4th Xbox One, believe it or not, but this is where it gets very special. It's not a regular Xbox One. It's one of the brand new Xbox One S's. Now, that means slim. That's what the S stands for. You just witnessed how hard it was to carry the regular Xbox Ones because of how bulky and how heavy they are. Well, this is a much, much, much smaller option for you. This is at least 50% smaller than a regular Xbox One. And even though it's smaller, it actually packs more of a punch too. You can stream 4K video on this Xbox One instead of regular 1080p video as opposed to the old ones. Now, some games will even be scaled up to 4K if the game supports it, which will make it look much, much better and smoother. But yes, as you can see, the design is completely different, with the air ventilation being a lot of tiny holes. And the controller port was moved to the front of the console for convenience. But also a huge feature of this Xbox One is HDR. Now, HDR is high dynamic range. What that is if you have a nice 4K TV that has HDR also, you can activate the HDR on your Xbox and your TV, and it enhances all the colors to look truly beautiful. Honestly, HDR is a very, very nice thing for a gamer to have. Now, keep in mind, it's a very expensive thing to do. I don't know how deep you're looking to go into your wallet today, but this is going to charge you a pretty penny. But let's move on, shall we? I still haven't even gotten to the really cool thing that we just got in, honestly. But I'm going to show you the paddle for this Xbox One S first. It's just the same, pretty much the same. It doesn't have the soft grip, but it does have updated triggers and updated bumpers, and really is an all-around comfortable paddle. And let me show you some games that you can get with the Xbox One. Now, any of these games will run with any of the consoles I showed you. It's just the green Xbox One S will run these games slightly smoother and keep a consistent frame rate for you, while the others might drop a frame here and there. Now I'm getting into statistics, and I'm going to stay away from that because I don't want to confuse anyone. But some of the games that you definitely want to pick up for the Xbox One is Halo 5. Halo 5 truly is some of the most fun competitive multiplayer you can find, and for those of you that like Halo anyway, great Halo all around in my opinion. Now, in the world's opinion, GTA might be the only other game besides Skyrim I can guarantee you need to buy as soon as you get your hands on it. Many, many, many hours of gameplay, many online users, very, very good updates. This game is not going to get boring quick. There's so much to do, and it's super realistic for the most part. And then, of course, the newest, Call of Duty. And what's nice about this Call of Duty is you not only get Infinite Warfare, which is the newest one, you also get a remastered version of a Call of Duty that came out many years ago. I don't know the specific number, but quite a while ago. But it was one of the best Call of Duties to ever come out. So there's a few games for you. And we only have one console left. Unfortunately, we have not gotten any more Nintendo Switches in to show you. Those sold out within the first couple minutes of them going on the shelves, and we haven't gotten any back yet. So I'm going to show you the two PS4 consoles that we have in stock right now. Now, based on the PS2 and PS3 compared, this is a very sleek looking game system. Honestly, this is probably the sleekest looking game system in my opinion. I'm not saying it's better, I'm just saying I like how it's shaped. So the buttons on front are touch. This is the power button. All you have to do is touch it. And this is the eject button. All you have to do is touch it. And that's where the disc goes. Now, you also get your standard 2 USBs in the front and some normal plugins in the back. Now this PS4 is 500 gigabytes, meaning it's a pretty standard amount, but it will fill up if you're a hardcore gamer. Now the other console I have is also a regular standard black PS4, but this one is used and has skinnets on it. And that means it's decorated, obviously, with Star Wars decor. Now, everything is true with this one as that one, except this has an updated hard drive and can hold 1 terabyte worth of games. And I highly recommend dropping the extra $50 because you're going to get a lot of games and you're going to have to do it anyway, I promise. So you get the design and you get an extra 500 gigs for only $50 more. But yeah, let me show you the paddles for these. As you can tell, they didn't really stray too far from the PS3 or PS2 paddles. The analog sticks are concaved a little bit for a little bit softer feel. Now, you also get this light bar, which is kind of interesting. It shows you the status of your player in games or other stuff, such as if the charger's charging the paddle or if it's done, certain things like that. And the bottom of the paddle, you get a standard 3.5 millimeter jack, meaning you can put any headset, any earbuds into the bottom of this paddle and hear the game through it, which is a very, very nice feature in my opinion. With other game systems, you have to buy an adapter to get that same effect. And last but not least, let me show you some PS4 games for you, and then I'll show you a few bonus items that you can buy, including what I told you about earlier, one of the most special things we've ever had in the store. But I'll get to that. For right now, here are some of the games. Neo, like Dark Souls, it is very similar in which it is very hard, but if you're buying for somebody, I would say above 15 years old, this is a very, very good hack and slash game for anyone. Now this game, this got some of the best reviews I've ever seen. I still have not played this much, but the couple hours I did put into it, it is, I think, the most beautiful game that I've ever played graphically wise. Just a little backstory on this. This is just, it's pretty much many, many thousands of years in the future, but the dinosaurs are back. I don't really know the plot too much, but the dinosaurs are back as robots, machines. I'm gonna have to play that a little more and get back to you on that. And then Bloodborne. this is probably my favorite of the Souls series. So, as you can tell, I really like the hard Dark Souls games. But that one, definitely a game you want to pick up. Now, I'm going to show you some accessories that you can get for the PS4 specifically to enhance your experience. Now what this is a fake guitar, obviously. And what it is for a game called Guitar Hero Live. What happens in the game is the notes will fall down the screen, and you have to hit the notes as they hit the bottom of the screen, and it simulates you playing a real guitar, kind of, for a real crowd. And it's a very fun game. It's a very great party game. If you have a lot of friends over or are bored, this is definitely the game for you. So you have to strum, you have to play the notes. You can even whammy. That's what that's called. Now, what this is kind of a failed little bonus that Sony was giving to us, and that is the PS Move. If you've ever heard of a Nintendo Wii, the PS Move simulates games as a Wii would. Instead of using a paddle, you use motions with this to play games, and it's supposed to give it more of a realistic feel. And I say it's failed because they didn't really produce many games that use this. So why am I showing this to you? I'll show you that in a second. This is also a part of it. What this camera does is tracks the light on this to make the motion work on this paddle. And also, if you hold your paddle up to the camera and show it the light, it will automatically turn your PlayStation on and sign you in, which is kind of a little quirky feature if you want that. But why am I showing you these still? Well, because you're going to need this, and you're going to want this to get the full experience out of the new toy the store is selling, and that is a PSVR. Now, what a PSVR is a virtual reality gaming system. You hook up the PSVR to your PS4 and you place the VR on your head like so. Now, when you do that, you get transported into the game itself. It's supposed to feel like you're actually inside the game. And what makes it very nice is when you move your head any direction, the character in the game also moves their head in that direction. And it makes it feel very real because you can turn around all the way 360 degrees and it will track you all the way. What also makes it very interesting is there's a slot here that when you plug headphones in, you get binaural sound. What do I mean by binaural sound? Well, when you put your headphone in this ear and headphone in this ear and something happens in the game on this side, you'll hear it in this side, giving you a deeper immersion into the PlayStation VR. I have used this quite a bit. It's very pricey. It's over $500. If you're not into gimmicky things, I would not get one of these. But if you want to be transported into a different world completely, or into a gaming world that you like, this is definitely what you want to get. Unless you have a gaming computer, but that's a whole nother story. We don't have those here. But yes, for that PSVR, you also need the camera and you want the sticks, because it makes it even more realistic to control the character's hands with your hands. But that's actually everything I have to show you today, and I'm wondering if anything really jumped out at you as something you would like to get. I kind of overwhelmed you. Yeah, I understand there was a lot of stuff here. Well, I don't know. So you don't want anything right now? No, you'll just come back another time. Okay. Well, thank you for coming in. Have a good night.